today it is not right to say that most of the Muslims believe that he is alive in the heaven. They have started retreating. They have started abandoning their first line of defense and finding shelter behind the second one. The ulama at that time, when Masih Maud declared this Jesus' death in accordance with Allah's revelation, was the most hated man and became the most hated man in the world of ulama of Islam. And right from Arabia to all the corners of the earth where Muslims were found, they said, this man has forfeited his right to live. He declares Jesus to be dead. They were united in this opinion. Jesus is alive. And why were they so angry with that, with the declaration that Jesus is dead? Because they thought their life depended on Jesus. Life of Islam depended on Jesus. Unless he came, there will be no hope. And Hazrat Muhammad himself has repeatedly bound Jesus' reappearance with the resurgence of Islam and revival of Islam and spread of Islamic message once again. So that could have been the reason why they were so unforgivable in their attitude to Hazrat Islam. But Hazrat stuck to his ground. He said, this is true, and what he said, on the other hand, was the most beautiful rebuttal to the mullahs. He said, let Jesus die, because it is the life of Islam which depends on his death. This is the most beautiful statement. In one short sentence, he debunked all their arguments and shook them up to see things in reality, what they actually were. The rise of Christianity was the one deadly factor against Islam. And it could not be reversed without declaring that the so-called Son of God is dead. Christianity would crumble down and completely demolished, razed to earth. So this also is the meaning of breaking of cross. The mullahs think, still many of them think, that when Jesus was to come, he would turn his attention to the physical sign of his torture and his torturous death, that is cross, and he would start breaking them. And he would travel far and wide, every country will be visited by him, every home where there is a cross. And he would start breaking them and throwing them away. But they don't offer any formula for the reconstruction of crosses by those whose crosses are broken. Because if external cross is broken, the internal is not broken thereby. If somebody demolishes a Muslim mosque, how can he completely abandon the very concept of worshipping in the mosque? He would try to build another, like we have always been doing. In Pakistan, so many enemy mosques are demolished. We build others and others and others. So how could the cross within the hearts of the Christians be broken? So he would start breaking them, but at a faster speed than he can break. Then the other technicians and mechanics and laborers, experts in this art, will be breaking the crosses. If for one they may make 100 out of length for him. So will he spend eternally occupied with this profession of breaking crosses? But anyway, Hazrat Masih Maud pointed to the fact, look here, for God's sake, don't attribute such meaningless things to Hazrat Muhammad. When he mentioned he would break the cross, it only meant that he would break the very basis of Christianity, the very backbone of Christianity, so that the cross would not be worshipped thereby. And this was the one single stroke of genius, aided by Allah, of course, which made Ahmadiyya a most powerful and victorious agency of Islam against Christianity of all forms. You see, even today this is working and they don't see it. They have only abandoned the idea because they think that if we continue to believe in Jesus' return, he has not so far. And Ahmadis are after our sin. They say, produce Jesus, where is he? Or admit that the representative Jesus has come. So to get rid of this nuisance, for 100 years we have been demanding, all right, produce the real Jesus if he is alive. If all that do away with it, he is dead, no more. Where did he die? When he was living to heaven, did he die there? And if not, then what is he doing in living eternally a material life? And would he not be returned to the day of judgment? And he will not be raised again? If he dies there, then where will the mullahs take this verse? فِيهَا تَحْيَوْنَ وَفِيهَا تَمُوتُونَ وَمِنْهَا تُخْرَجُونَ. So will Jesus deny, give a lie to the statement of the Quran? So they don't enter these implications. They shut their eyes intentionally. When the common people, Muslims, ask them, all right, what about Jesus? Why don't he come? Are the Ahmadis right that he is only to appear metaphorically as representation? They forget about it. It's unimportant. Jesus, let Jesus die, we do not care. He is not important for us. So we've gone back and completely reversed the previous stance of 13th century. They were waiting, and when he came, they completely reversed their position and said, let Jesus die, we don't care. It's not important for Islam. Only recently, this edict was issued in Saudi Arabia. Some Maulvi, in answer to the question, he said, it's unimportant, it doesn't matter. In one of the newspapers, somebody wrote to me that this was recently published. As far as the life is, it's unimportant. The traditions we speak of it are not very strong. So let him die. If you let him die, what about the interpretation of the Holy Quran? You can't dismiss the statement of the Holy Quran as Zaif Hadith. And we have been insisting throughout the last many centuries that the Holy Quran tells you that Jesus is still alive and has been lifted to heaven. What about that? So this is all excuses. Dishonesty. But Hazrat Masih Maud turned the table against them. How beautiful, one twist of the hand. People say sleight of hand, but that is an expression applicable only to magical show. That's a blunt, little twist, and the whole table is turned against them. He said, Jesus did not die upon cross, although he was crucified, attemptedly. But crucifixion did not reach its objective, and it failed to kill him. It was only an instrument of death. And as such, it is true to say he was not crucified. For example, Hazrat Muhammad was not murdered. He was not killed by sword, despite the fact that an attempt was made. Many attempts were made. Ordinarily, the situation was so dangerous that he could have died if Allah had not specially protected him. So attempted murder, attempted crucifixion do not mean, if they are deprived of their end product, which is murder. Having said everything, Hazrat Muslim Islam concluded that Jesus died a natural death. He did not outlive the normal span of human beings and prophets. He will return back to his God.